Well, what does Twitter hope to get out of the Republican convention? It's a good question. Liz Heron has a special guest. She joins us now from Tampa, where she's going to conduct the interview. Hey, Liz, take it away.
Hi, Simon. Thanks. I'm here with Adam Sharp, Twitter's head of government and news. And Adam, I was just hoping to talk to you a little bit about how Twitter has been tracking the chatter coming out of here about the convention. Anything about Tropical Storm Isaac? Let me know how you guys are tracking it and what you're seeing.
Well, it's actually been interesting. The conversation is already many times higher than it was in 2008. In fact, on Sunday alone, 2 days before we're actually kicking things off here formally in Tampa, there were more tweets about this convention on Sunday alone than there were about the entire 2008 convention in Minneapolis-St. Paul. So we've already seen a massive increase in volume of conversation, and that parallels what we've seen on Twitter as a whole. Today we see 400 million tweets a day on Twitter. For comparison, that means that we see more tweets every 2 days than had ever been sent prior to the 2008 election. And we were a 2.5-year-old company at that time. Election day 08, 1.8 million tweets. That blows by in 6 minutes today. So we're seeing increased conversation. Over the weekend, much of the conversation was focused on Hurricane Isaac, as you can imagine. In fact, the most tweeted moment of the convention so far was the 6 to 7 o'clock hour on Sunday evening when we announced the delay of the start of the convention. So we're seeing this volume build. Now the conversation has started to turn more and more towards the actual speaking lineup for tonight. More and more pictures from the various parties that have already started kicking off here and people coming and seeing the floor. And tonight we'll actually be measuring the conversation in real time, and we'll be able to report back to you what the most tweeted moments of the night were, what elements of the speeches triggered reaction from the audience and made them pick up those mobile devices and share the experience from the hall or share their comments from home.
That's really interesting. And you mentioned 2008. I'm curious whether Twitter had a presence at the 2008 conventions, and if so, what has changed? What are you doing here at the convention? What are you trying to get out of it as a company?
We did not have a physical presence at the conventions. We were still a very small company at that time, and the Twitter volume was small. To give a comparison, if you took both conventions combined for that 2-week period and every mention of the candidates over that 2-week period, you'd get to about 360,000 tweets. We've already seen that volume at this convention now over the last several days. Many recent political stories have easily eclipsed that. The President's State of the Union address had crossed that threshold in just the first 30 or 40 minutes. So this is really the Twitter election in 2012, and where we are starting to have our first strong presence here on the convention floor. And it's really to serve a few different roles. First, it's to provide support to the campaigns, the candidates, the delegates, to the members of the media, all of whom are helping to tell the story of the convention on Twitter and be here to give them ideas, get them signed up for Twitter if they're not already, and be able to solve technical problems as they come up. We're also going to be monitoring that conversation, as I said, in real time so that we can help give a more complete picture of how the audience is reacting both on the floor and at home.
So you mentioned you were helping the campaigns to some extent start using Twitter or use it more effectively. Can you give me an example of how you're consulting there?
Well, we've been working with both the Romney campaign and the Obama campaign for over a year at this point, as we worked with many of the other primary candidates as well, to identify ways to use Twitter to engage with their constituents, to advance their message online, and then to think about ways to bring some more voices into the fold. And so we're very excited to see here at this convention, wherever you go, that GOP 2012 hashtag. It's on the state pillars on the floor. You see it on signage everywhere. I think you'll be surprised to see it at some other fun places when the production kicks off tonight. And that's really designed to both encourage the delegates on the floor to share that experience with members of the community back home, and also to be a cue for members of people back home, members of the audience back home, to know there's a conversation I can be a part of, and to encourage them to do that so those voices can be brought back into the hall.
Well, thank you, Adam. I really appreciate that. Back to you, Simon.
Thank you very much. That's our very own Liz Heron down there in Tampa, having a great time by the looks of it. Great interview there. We have more election coverage on WSJ.com and streaming on YouTube.com/. political, so you want to check that out. And we're looking now at our own website, WorldStream, where you can look at video throughout the day that we've been uploading from our election center down there in Tampa. You won't want to miss that.